He's doing what he should be doing, Scott, as you just mentioned, for the people who employ him, the owners. And to some degree, you're right. The role has shifted over the years. And back in the day, a long time ago, we thought about the commissioner being someone who acts only in the best interests of baseball. And that sort of changed when Bud Selig became commissioner because, of course, he was a former owner. And it became a situation which was not really unlike what it ever was, but the owners run the show. Manfred works for the owners. It's a simple equation. He makes no bones about it, nor really should he. So I can sit here and question this and that and the other thing, and we do, right? We criticize him when we think it's appropriate. But as you said, Scott, he's making money for the owners. The sport is in a better place this year than it's been in a while. And for that, he gets some of the credit, for sure. So they're not going to change it. And I kind of make the analogy to what I discussed earlier this week with regard to Ohtani and Artie Moreno. It's not a perfect analogy, but hear me out. I said earlier this week, the Ohtani decision, my opinion doesn't matter. You guys' opinion doesn't matter. Fans' opinion doesn't matter. Nobody's opinion matters but one man. That's Artie Moreno. With the decision to have Manfred back and extended, it's the same kind of thing. The only opinions that matter are those of the owners. They are apparently satisfied or clearly satisfied with how this is going. So we can sit here and squawk all we want, and we can wonder why he isn't a better public speaker and doesn't handle himself more gracefully at times. We can question certain decisions. That's all fair game. But at the same time, he's not going anywhere, and he's not going anywhere because the owners like him.
So he is about to turn 65. It's his age 65 season. And he will probably run until his age 70 season with this next term coming up. There's something that I call F it mode, where this could be the last run that he has, 5 more years. You might not want to do this again from 70 to 75. Do you think that affects the way that he commissioners at all, where you don't have to take as much shit potentially from everyone else? You can sure make your money, but do you tilt the line a little bit towards legacy and trying to have a more favored reputation in the way that you speak to the media and deal with fans and in the decisions that you make, where you don't have to take shit from, a certain owner 24/7 because you don't have to worry about him reelecting you? Do you think that could tilt at all during this next term?
Scott, that is an excellent question, and I haven't really considered it. But if you think about it and just go by the way he has acted so far, I would say I don't expect much of a change, if any. Now, people can always improve in anything that they do, even at an older age, right? But I don't expect him to change much publicly. I don't expect him to be any less servile is a strong word, but you know what I'm saying with regard to the owners. He is their guy, and I expect him to act in their best interests. I just don't see him deviating from that very much and going off the reservation, so to speak. He is who he is as a commissioner, and he has forged that identity. I just don't see him suddenly becoming a guy who is worried about his legacy with regard to his historical impact on the sport. He does what he does, and I don't know that his feel for the sport is so great anyway. I've never felt that it was so great, and there are people within the sport who feel the same way, executives, etc. So I don't anticipate a change, but what you're saying is definitely interesting to think about. And when he does get reelected, and he will, that's a fair question to ask of him. Hey, what might you do differently now that you have this next term?
Ken, what's to say he doesn't go the other way? He's already incorporated all these new rules. What's to say he just doesn't go off the reservation and go like the complete other way and be like, I'm putting in robo umps, and I'm putting 2 bases at first, and I'm, just going crazy with all this and being like, that's my legacy. I changed baseball, and if you don't like it, I'm 70 years old. I don't care anyways.
Well, robo-umps are coming, and it seems to me it's coming with a challenge system, which will not be a complete turnover to the automatic ball strike system, which to me is okay. If we have a situation where there are 5 challenges a game, I kind of would like to see that. AJ, I think as a catcher, you probably would like to see that too, because there are calls that are missed. Now, once you open that Pandora's box, who knows where it goes? That's a conversation for another day. I don't expect him to be much different in that regard either. I don't see him as being suddenly this revolutionary commissioner disrupting the sport in any way he can. He has done some things along the lines of making the sport different. Certainly these rules changes, overdue, but they got there. So he deserves credit for that. During this next period, what we're going to have is another labor agreement. That will be dicey. We're going to have expansion, most likely, and that's going to be something really important for the sport, and perhaps radical realignment going along with that. So there are a number of things that are going to come up that he has to take care of without going off the reservation, for lack of a better phrase.